Let's get right into it. Number 5, the Maya Empire's mathematical mystery. Picture this. You're living in one of the most advanced civilizations on Earth around 900 CE. Your people have invented the concept of zero independently, created incredibly accurate calendars, and built massive pyramids that still baffle engineers today. You've got over 13 million people spread across the Yucatan Peninsula, thriving cities connected by sophisticated road networks and agricultural systems that could feed massive populations. Then, within just a few generations, everything falls apart. The great Maya cities are abandoned, left to be swallowed by the jungle. But here's what makes this disappearance so haunting. The Maya didn't just fade away slowly. Archaeological evidence shows that many of their major urban centers were suddenly deserted around the same time. We're talking about cities that housed tens of thousands of people, places like Tikal and Palenque, just going completely silent. The really weird part is that the Maya had survived droughts before, they'd dealt with warfare, they'd overcome political upheavals. So what was different this time? Scientists have found evidence of a massive drought that lasted for decades, but that doesn't explain why neighboring cities that had different water sources also collapsed. Some researchers think it was a perfect storm of climate disaster, warfare, and social breakdown all happening at once. Others believe the Maya's own success became their downfall, with overpopulation leading to deforestation and soil exhaustion. The mystery deepens when you realize that Maya communities in the northern regions actually continued to flourish for centuries after the southern cities were abandoned. It's like half of their civilization just decided to vanish while the other half kept going. Today, millions of people still speak Maya languages, but the golden age of their empire remains one of history's greatest puzzles. If you're fascinated by these lost civilizations and want to see more mysterious disappearances throughout history, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We'll be diving into more incredible vanishing acts that left archaeologists scratching their heads. Number 4, the Indus Valley's silent cities. Imagine discovering the remains of a civilization so advanced that it puts modern urban planning to shame. But there's one terrifying problem. Nobody left behind a single readable text to explain what happened to them. The Indus Valley civilization was massive, stretching across parts of modern-day Pakistan, India, and Afghanistan. We're talking about 5 million people living in perfectly planned cities with sophisticated drainage systems, standardized weights and measures, and multi-story buildings that wouldn't look out of place today. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro had populations of up to 60,000 people each. These weren't primitive settlements, they were urban masterpieces with grid-patterned streets, public baths, and sewage systems that were more advanced than anything Europe would see for another 1,000 years. But around 1700 BCE, something went catastrophically wrong. The archaeological record shows that these thriving metropolises were suddenly abandoned. Streets that once bustled with merchants and craftspeople fell silent. The sophisticated water management systems that had sustained these cities for centuries were left to crumble. What makes this disappearance even more mysterious is how complete it was. Unlike other ancient civilizations that left behind epic poems, royal inscriptions, or religious texts, the Indus people used a script that we still can't decode. It's like they took their secrets to the grave. Climate researchers have found evidence of a massive drought that began around 1900 BCE, possibly linked to changes in monsoon patterns. But was climate change really enough to make an entire civilization of 5 million people just disappear? Some scientists think the Indus River itself changed course, cutting off the water supply that these cities depended on. Others believe that without a centralized government or powerful kings to coordinate responses to crisis, the civilization simply couldn't adapt when disaster struck. What's truly haunting is walking through these ancient ruins today and seeing evidence of sudden abandonment everywhere. Unfinished buildings, tools left where they were dropped, entire neighborhoods that look like people just walked away one day and never came back. Comment your location below and let us know if there are any mysterious disappearances from your part of the world that we should investigate next. Number 3, Angkor's jungle swallowed empire. Deep in the Cambodian jungle lies one of the most spectacular urban complexes ever built, and it holds secrets about a civilization that simply melted away into the forest. The Khmer Empire's capital city of Angkor wasn't just impressive, it was mind-blowing. At its peak between 1000 and 1200 CE, This urban sprawl covered over 1,000 square kilometers and housed up to 1 million people, making it the largest pre-industrial city in the world. The engineering behind Angkor was incredible. The Khmer built an intricate network of canals, reservoirs, and water management systems that turned the entire region into a massive hydraulic civilization. They could control flooding, irrigate crops during dry seasons, and support a population density that wouldn't be matched until the modern era. The famous Angkor Wat temple that tourists visit today was just one small piece of this enormous urban puzzle. But something started going wrong around 1300 CE. Recent archaeological research has revealed that Angkor's decline wasn't as sudden as historians once thought. Instead, it was a slow-motion collapse that took over a century to complete. The city center began showing signs of abandonment a full 100 years before the traditional date of 1431, when Thai armies supposedly delivered the final blow. Here's where it gets really strange. The same water management system that made Angkor great might have been what killed it. Climate data shows that the region experienced severe weather swings with intense monsoons followed by devastating droughts. The massive hydraulic infrastructure that had sustained the city for centuries couldn't handle these extreme fluctuations. Canals silted up, reservoirs overflowed or dried out completely, and the delicate balance that supported 1 million people began to collapse. What makes Angkor's disappearance even more haunting is how nature reclaimed it. Massive tree roots grew through temple walls, strangling ancient stones in their embrace. The jungle didn't just hide Angkor, it consumed it, turning one of humanity's greatest cities into something that looked like a fantasy movie set. By the time French explorers rediscovered it in the 1800s, locals had completely forgotten that a massive civilization once thrived there. The few remaining Khmer people told stories about gods and giants building the temples, having no memory that their own ancestors had created this urban masterpiece. Number 2, the Mississippian mound builders' great silence. Picture this. Across the American Midwest and Southeast, hundreds of massive earthen pyramids rise from the landscape, some taller than 10-story buildings. These weren't natural hills, they were carefully constructed monuments built by a sophisticated civilization that most Americans have never heard of. The Mississippian culture flourished from about 800 to 1600 CE, creating urban centers that rivaled anything in medieval Europe. Their largest city, Cahokia near present-day St. Louis, housed up to 20,000 people and featured over 120 earthen mounds arranged in precise patterns. But here's what's truly bizarre. When European explorers first encountered these massive structures, the Native American tribes living nearby had no idea who built them. The mound builders had vanished so completely that their own descendants had lost all memory of them. Archaeological evidence suggests that Cahokia was suddenly abandoned around 1300 CE, right at the height of its power and influence. The timing is eerie because this coincides with a period of climate change and social upheaval across North America. Some researchers think disease epidemics swept through these densely populated centers, while others believe political conflicts tore the civilization apart from within. What makes their disappearance even more mysterious is how thoroughly they erased themselves from history. Unlike other lost civilizations that left behind written records or oral traditions, the Mississippians seem to have taken their stories with them. If this video is blowing your mind, share it with someone who loves unsolved mysteries as much as you do. Number 1, the Sea People's Phantom Invasion. Around 1200 BCE, something terrifying swept across the ancient Mediterranean world like a plague. Egyptian records describe mysterious invaders they called the Sea Peoples, warrior groups that appeared from nowhere and systematically destroyed every major civilization they encountered. These weren't ordinary raiders, they were civilization destroyers on an unprecedented scale. The Sea Peoples didn't just attack cities, they completely erased entire cultures from existence. The mighty Hittite Empire, which had dominated modern-day Turkey for centuries, simply vanished. The advanced Mycenaean civilization in Greece collapsed overnight. Dozens of cities across the eastern Mediterranean were burned to the ground and never rebuilt. But here's the truly terrifying part. We have absolutely no idea who these Sea Peoples were or where they came from. Egyptian inscriptions mention names like the Peliset, the Sheridan, and the Luca, but these names don't match any known civilizations. It's like they materialized from thin air, destroyed the known world, and then disappeared back into the void. Some historians think they might have been displaced populations fleeing their own disasters, turning to piracy and warfare for survival. Others believe they were part of a massive systems collapse, where interconnected Bronze Age civilizations fell like dominoes. What's most chilling is that their invasion marks the end of the Bronze Age and the beginning of what historians call the Dark Ages. It took centuries for Mediterranean civilizations to recover from whatever the Sea Peoples did to them. They remain history's most successful mystery invaders, phantom destroyers who changed the course of human civilization and then vanished without a trace. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.